Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender, me, myself, and I playthrough of the main event scenario. Game is published by GMT Games, designed by Salvatore Vasta. We're getting ready to enter into the Western operations phase of July 1944, and fair weather everywhere, so... Unfortunately, having looked at the map, this is going to be a very ugly sort of hammer to break an egg kind of thing. This American airplane is going to fly up to here. This one's going to fly up to here. They each take a sortie. The guy in the south will attack the fighter in 3119. Currently, the Germans are at 0, and the Americans are at -3. Because they're -4 for sorties, +1 for being American. The Germans are -2 for sorties, +2 for being German. So it's a 0 to a -3. I don't see a reason to use the jets here. I'm thinking the jets will give me one more attack in trying to defend central Germany from bombers with my -3 guy, because once he gets up to like -5, if I throw jets there, I should get, 2 good, possibly turn away 2 of these bombers and put them up with 3 sorties, so maybe not get so many bomb markers. Since I'm ahead on the, I got ahead last turn to where I'm only down -2, so I want to try and keep hold of that, so I keep hold of all the production points that I'll get next turn. So, I don't want to see the factories deteriorate that fast if I can. The other argument is, right now I'm in a good position where I can probably do 2 sorties to him for 1 on me, so that's probably worthwhile from my standpoint. Maybe on this other -3 I'll use the jets. I don't know. I have to think about that. So it's -3 to 0. Americans roll. Hey, a 6. -3 is a 3. They did good. Germans roll. A 1. You're kidding me. You realize there's a 1 in 36 chance that this could have happened. I should have played the jets. Didn't play the jets. Dumb. Okay. First off, I need to go start my timer because I forgot. Because it will get me in trouble. Hello, timer. Start. I pressed the start button. There we go. All right, now to start. Timer's running. So that's a 1 in 36 shot. that happens. The Germans actually take 2 sorties because a 3-1, a 3 to a 1 is a DR2. The Americans take 1 sortie. Oh my God. And then to add insult to injury to the Germans, I'm going to use the 5 sortie airplane to attack the 3 sortie airplane because it doesn't matter what he does to me. I'm going to inflict a sortie on him because I can only take 1 more sortie. And I can't miss. He has to fight at least 1 sortie. So we don't even have to roll dice for that. That's just sort of an exchange thing, which really kind of screws up the Germans now because they're almost going to have to use their... this airplane's going to fly here, take a sortie. This airplane's going to fly here and take a sortie. Because now they're kind of like, oh man, I almost have to use the jets to try and save one of these fighters. I'm going to go after him with the 3 sortie fighter right next to Paris. I'm going to go after the guy in Sedan, trying to enticing him to use his jets. Now, the German is right now a -2, and so are the British. Because it's +3, it's -3 for sorties, and then +1 for British, so they're -2. Germans are -4 for sorties, +2 for Germans, so they're -2. So right now it's a -2, -2. And the Germans are like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Do I need to really try to preserve my airplanes here? I tend to like to keep my jets back so I can blow up the bombers, but I think there's a little too much. That 2-for-1 split is just a little too much here. I don't want to take... I don't think I can get that here. Well, he could if he rolls like a 6. 5 or a 6, and I roll low. He could get a 2-for-1 here. I'm going to throw the jets here. I need to try and make sure that I use up as many of his sorties as I can. So I'm going to throw the jets on this combat, which makes me go back up to a 0. So the British are -2, Germans are a 0, the British roll 2, -2 makes them a 1, the Germans roll a 2. Okay. Would have been nice if I could have gotten at least a 3, but we each take 1 sortie. The Jets go back on the turn track for next turn. Yuck, 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 yuck. So this British airplane will go after this guy here. That means I'm -3, and he's -2. Because he's -4 for sorties, +2 for German. -3 to -2. The British roll. Another 6. Another British rolled a 6. So that becomes a 3, and the Germans at -2 roll. They rolled a 3, -2 is a 1. A 6 to a 1 is, again, it's a 2-for-1 split. I actually get 3 sorties, but he only can take 2. Oh my god. The air war has just, gone completely bonkers. I'm going to have one heck of a July here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and use up this guy to make him go to 6. Just to try and make my bombers effective. As lucky as I'm getting. Sorry about that popping up the windows. I'm going to move the British to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who do I have go first? The British or the Americans? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Americans can go farther. I don't think I'm going to get a real good offensive off here in southern Italy. I'm almost to the point of sort of abandoning this whole concept and just, backing up to the Po and saying, screw this. And take the 2 mobile armies through southern France and go hook around that way. But I'm going to have the British attack the airplane in 28, 24, because he's got 4 sorties. So that makes him a -2. I have 4 sorties. That makes me a -3. And the British roll a 2, -3 makes them a 1. The Germans roll 5, -2 makes them a 3. So it's a 2-for-1 split, but I did get him up to 5 sorties. 2-for-1 split against the British. I go up to 6. I could have the Americans fly there. The Germans would be -3. Americans would be -3. So the Americans are going to go and try and nail him. See what happens. I'm a 1. And he's a 1. So we each take 1. So he didn't get a 2-for-1 split there. And that means I can fly here and negate this Central Air Force. Kind of chumps the whole offensive in Italy because I don't have any airplanes. But like I said, my goal here really is the Germans don't have. They got 14 production points that they're going to be able to spend. And if I have every one of their airplanes at 6 sorties, either he's going to have to let all my bombers through, or if he tries to stop, a couple of them, he's going to end up with all his airplanes at 6 sorties. And he doesn't have enough to bring back but 3 at most. And he also needs to, replace some infantry or some other flipped units in the Russian front. And he also needs to build some ground units because, well, we'll see if I can push him off his line here. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to do the bombing campaign right away just so it's out of the way. This one flies to Bremen. The guy in what is that? Newcastle. Flies to Bremen. Problem is, if you don't intercept, he could just do 1 or 2 runs and then say, okay, I'm done. And then you don't get to, these bombers can actually be flown into France and used for extra ground support. Oh, God. Yeah, I'll fly. I don't know. It's probably the wrong thing to do, but just seems like you should with the Germans. So I'm at a -2 with the German. He's at -2 with the German. He's at -2 for bomber, -4 for sorties, and then +1 because he's American. So he's going to get a 1. And the Germans are all 3 minus 2 is a 1, so that's 1 sortie each. That's 5. And I get to put a bomb marker on Bremen. Then he will fly to Hamburg, and the Germans will let him go on that one. Because they want to intercept the guy that comes from Hull when he goes to Dusseldorf. Then they'll make their last intercept there. So it'll be minus 3. And he's at minus 4. Minus 3 for sorties, minus 2 for being a bomber, and plus 1 because he's American. So minus 4. And the Germans rolled a 2, so we each took a sortie. The bombing got through. And then that same bomber will go again. To Aachen. And we're going to stop there. I don't think I need more than 4 bombed markers because he doesn't have anything. I will be plus 6, minimum of a 7. Best he can get is a 6 on a straight die roll, so we're going to let that go so I can possibly use the British air down here. I'm going to zoom in here in the west because I've got some fancy schmancy stuff I think I want to try to do. I do have some air power, so yeah, we're gonna go for it, as it were. Where's my surprise attack marker? Surprise attack marker goes on Vichy. Reason why do I play it there? I really don't think I'm going to break through in the north with the British. I might, but I doubt it. But this allows me to have, it's where all the Americans are. So I have way more Americans than I have British, so I don't have as much air support. The British actually have their bomber in London, can help them in London or Calais, and their airplane outside of Paris can help them in both places. So they have 5 sorties that they can use to help them fight. The Americans only have 2 sorties, so I want to help them with the extra +1s here to the south where there's rough terrain and the armored unit as well that's behind a bunch of rivers. So we're going to see if the Americans can kind of blow a hole through here using their airplanes as part of the deal. Do I start in the south? See how the Americans do on their first attack? We're going to attack with the 7th. 1, 2. Hello. What was that? As Vassal hangs on me. Don't know what that was. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down the rail line to 3716. We attack the 2nd. We are currently going way down minuses. Germans are at +2. That much we know. They also have, why do I keep doing that? They do have a tanks marker. Not sure where I should be playing the tanks marker here. I thought I would save it for the east, but it looks like I'm going to have to do something about using it in the west. Let's see. The Americans are +1 because they're American, +2 for armor, +1 for the surprise attack marker, -1 for the thing. So it's +3 to a +2. I have good retreat routes. That cost the 4, 5, 6. That cost them 7. So they only have 3 left. So I could, if he forces me to retreat, I could go to 36-17. And then he wouldn't be able to attack me anymore. And I still kind of keep him from doing anything. I mean, he could, instead of taking the hex, come across here, but couldn't attack me. But then he'd be next to Marseille. 6-1, half dozen the other, what he wants to do in that case. So yeah, I think I'm going to not use the thing for the Germans here. The Americans are not going to use their free forces here. This is more of a spoiling attack, see if I can get away with it. So the Americans roll at +3. 2 + 3 is a 5. The Germans roll a 4 + 2 is a 6. 5 to a 6 is a diamond. I will spend my last 3 to do it again. Same logic holds. 2 + 3 is a 5. 2 + 2 is a 4. So that didn't work at all. Ugh, he says. Alright. First army's going to move here. That's 2. And then it's 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 4 left to attack Vichy. And here I will throw in an airplane. So the allies are normally +3, +2 for an airplane, +1 for the surprise attack marker, -1 for the river, -1 for the city. And the Germans are +2. The Germans are going to say, no, I'm not +2. They're going to actually, knowing that they could face the airplane, they would go ahead and throw their tanks here, trying to hold the line, so to speak. Throw their tanks here. This is the Schwerpunkt, so to speak. Knowing that, the Allies, having seen them play that after they play their airplane, they go ahead and say, well, it's the Schwerpunkt, let's put the free forces in. So that makes the Allies +5 and the Germans +4. And I will double check that. Germans are +2, +2 for a tank. And the Allies, let's start over with them. They're +1 for American, +2 because he's armor, +2 for an airplane, +1 for the free forces, +1 for the surprise attack marker, -1 for the river, -1 for the city, +5 to +4. Dun dun dun. 3 + 5 is an 8. I really wanted a higher number than that. 2 + 4 is a 6. An 8 to a 6 is just enough for them to hold. It's a diamond. So, turn track here. Tanks go on the turn track. Free forces come back in 5 turns, of course. 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. So, I won't see them until the end of the year. We are now down to German being +2. And I am currently at +3. I really want to try and get that hacked, so I'm going to go ahead and throw my airplane in for the last time. And so now it's a +5 to a +2. So it's +1 for... It shouldn't be +5, it should be +4. I can't add. It's +1 for American, +2 for armor, +2 for airplane, +1 for surprise attack, -1 for city, -1 for the thing. So it's +4 to +2. Okay, +4 to +2. And let's see, that cost me... This is the last time I can attack, because it costs me 4 to attack each time. So, here we go. 5 + 4 is a 2. 3 + 2 is a 5. 5 + 4 is a 2. Yeah. 5 + 4 is a 9. Hello. I can add? Sure I can. It's a 9, and he's 3 + 2 is a 5. A 9 to a 5 is a DR. You guys all see that? So the German's going to retreat. My gut tells me I should be in this space. No matter what I do, he's going to get to 3315 with some other army. So if I go in 3316, that gives him a free pot shot at my infantry. I don't want to give him that. So let's not give him that. So I'll go there. He has to somehow get through that or attack me across the river again or something. So he's got to bust some more German armies. So I'm doing okay now. The next problem is going to be that what that does, the reason why I need to really take that is the next thing that's going to happen on the Western agenda is they're going to play their partisans there. And you'll see why in just a second. The first French army can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They could attack the German, but then the German would retreat to 3115, and I really want to kill this armor. So the first French is just going to go there and sit. Now, if he'd put his infantry, German put infantry in 3316, I could have taken a pot shot at it there, but I didn't. So, actually, I really should have. You realize that? Seeing this, the Germans actually would have to retreat to there. Reason being is if they don't and they kill this armor, then the 3rd Panzer can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all the way into Dijon and cut off my entire southern front. So I have to have somebody here to try and defend. So I was incorrect. The 8th will actually retreat to 3316 when he was retreating. And then the French, when they get here with their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they'll only have one movement point left. But they'll attack at net +3 to +2. That's because they're 1 for an American army, 2 for an armor, 1 for the surprise attack, and -1 for the river. So +3 to +2. No airplanes left, so +3 to +2. 6 plus 3 is a 9. Ouch. 3 plus 2 is a 5. That's also a DR. So they get to retreat. Where do you retreat to? Here? Or here? I think here, because I'm trying to keep the south open, right? Ouch, ouch, ouch. I'm not sure where. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I wouldn't be able to retreat into Dijon. No, I gotta go here. Patton could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into 3317 and attack 2616. I wouldn't be able to retreat into Dijon. He can still come around the north and do that, but at least I can retreat into 3318, which is really good defensive terrain. So I think it works better this way. So that's where the Americans go, no, thank you, I do not want to take that space, because I want to keep this nitwit in his space. And then we activate the 9th, and the 9th is going to do the deed, hopefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he has 5 movement points left. And then we are +1. The Germans are normally +2 for German, +2 for armor, and then -2 for the partisan. The Americans are +1 for American, the 9th. He's +2 because he's armor. He's +2 because he's isolated, and +1 for the surprise attack marker. So it's +6 to +2. And the Americans roll a 2, +6 is an 8. God. Thank God the Germans didn't roll high. Germans rolled 2, +2 is a 4. 8 to a 4 is just a DR. So the Germans will live for another combat. They have to get flipped because they can't retreat. That means that they're now +2 for German, +2 for armor, -2 for partisan, -2 because they're flipped. The Allies are in the same boat. They're at plus... ridiculous. +6 to 0. The Allies roll. 4 plus 6 is a 10. And if you look on the combat results table, if you get a 10, even if he had a 7, he'd be a DR, which would eliminate him because he can't retreat. So it doesn't matter what he rolls, he's going to fail. So he's going to go on to the eliminated faction box. Yay, I killed the Panzer. I didn't even have to use Patton to do it. And he loses a willpower. So there's that. I can take the Hex. I get a no enemy zone of control, but there's no enemy zones of control anyway, so I don't care. I have 3 movement points left, so I could go like... Maybe I just go here to force the 3rd Panzer to have a hard time getting anywhere. Because I can't really get to him in attack, and I really want to keep some continuity of a line. So I think I'm just going to go to here. Right? I think that's the best thing to do. It keeps the Germans from being... I mean, now they have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas before they could have gone 1, 2 to 3016. To get to that same hex, it takes him 4 movement points. So maybe I cut down his mobility a little bit. I think I'm going to see what happens with the British next. I'm pretty much out of nonsense here. Okay, the British have a bunch of aircraft that they can use. They're going to move the Canadian 1, 2, 3 into 2913. That's my... Got to go start taking British points off. That's there. I'm going to attack the guy in Calais. Right now, they're only... the Germans are +2. And right now I'm at a +1 net. +1 for British, +2 for armor, -1 for reserve, -1 for the city. So I definitely want to throw an airplane in to get me up to at least that +3 to +2, right? So we're going to use the bomber. Bombers are allowed to do ground support if they're within the 5 hex range. So they're going to use the bomber instead of this guy and see what happens. +3 to +2, that cost me, let's see, I started over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can only attack this one time. I have 3 movement points left. That really sucks. Man, it really sucks. I only get 1 attack. Okay, well, +3 to +2. The British roll. 3 + 3 is a 6. Germans roll. 2 + 2 is a 4. 6 to a 4 is a retreat. It worked. Somehow the 8th Army pulled it off. Right? 6 to 4 is a retreat. So the Calais guy has to retreat. He only has 1 space, so he's got to go there. And yes, we are definitely going to take this because that gives me much better. I mean, yeah, he can move to like 2915 and then 2914 if I don't do anything else. But what this does set up is it's going to allow me to isolate the 3rd Panzer. So I'm going to be attacking it at massive things in Paris at least twice. So hopefully, if nothing else, I get it chopped down at least 1 step if I don't eliminate it altogether. So the second goes 1, 2, and then the 3rd Panzer is now isolated in the Somme, in the Paris. And then I will attack for 3 more, so I have 5 left. And, you know, I'm going to go ahead and use the bomber again since he's at maximum range. That'll give me all my guys at 5 and 6 there. I'll be back to where I was next turn. That lets me have this airplane for... I'm only going to make 2 attacks. Let's keep the bomber. Bombers are more expensive, so let's not... Whoops, out of the way. Let's not give him another sortie. Let's go ahead and do the fighter, because bombers are more expensive than fighters to replenish. So I am +1 for British, +2 for armor, +2 for airplane, +2 for isolation, and then -1 because of the city. And the Germans are +2 because they're German and +2 because they're panzers. So it's a +6 to a +4. And the British roll. A 6 + 6 is a 12. I can't get any better. And the Germans roll. 5 + 4 is a 9. 12 to a 9 is just barely. I just barely pulled it off. Having that 12 really made a difference. Because he had to roll a 6 in order to not take a step loss. So he's flipped because he can't retreat. And because of that, now he's only a +2 on this next attack. Gives me 2 movement points. And, yeah, we're throwing in the airplane again. I mean, we want to make sure that we kill this guy. +6 to +2. It's the same thing as last time, except he's only +2. Germans are British roll. A 1 + 6 is only a 7. That's not good. And they rolled a 6 + 2 is an 8, so they survive. Dang. I really wanted to get him. Well, I'm going to have to use Patton. I wanted Patton to go break through the south, but I'm going to have to use Patton to go after this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes kind of up the rail, crosses the river for an extra 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So you started here. 1, 2, 3, 4. To get into 31, 13, and then 5 by a rail to 30, 13, and then attack the 3rd Panzer himself. He's only going to be +4. Let's see this. What did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's only going to get one attack at this. He's +4 to +2. Because I don't have any American airplanes that I can use, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. He's one too far away. So, boo. Alright, +4 to +2. See if I can get him. Not with that. +5. He has to roll a 1. He rolled a 1. Amazing. Patton rolls a 1. +4 is a 5. The Germans roll a 1. +2. That's my timer, but I'm essentially done with the Americans. I just have to do their supply here. Anyway, 4 + 1 is a 5. 2 + 1 is a 3. A 5 to a 3 is a DR. So even with rolling a 1, the Americans somehow managed to destroy the 3rd Panzer as well. And this is a major disaster for the Germans. They lose another willpower. The biggest thing is they lost 2 armored units here in the west. Just some very good, lucky die rolling. They will take... Patton will take this. He has 2 movement points left. And it seems to me that the best use of those 2 movement points would be to go to something like here, which will restrict him from being able to do anything here in the center. He's not going to have a lot of units to move in the center. So, Patton moves up somewhat to the north to see if he can't help break through the Belgian frontier. Next turn, Germans are going to be in a wholesale, massive retreat to hopefully get themselves out of there. There is one, I call it a silly assault, just to see if I can get the hex. So this is the British and the 10th. That's 3 more points here. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I spent 4 in France. I activated 2 units there. And then 2, 3 here, so that puts me to there. And then I'm going to also activate the 9th probably. But basically we get to combat commitment. The Germans don't have anything left. I go ahead and throw a tanks marker. I'm doing an assault here on the 18th because it's +3, 4, 5, and then -2, so I'm +3 to +2. 1 for the armor, 1 for the British, 2 for the armor, 1 for the, and then the other guy that's adding in thinks he's in armor, so that's an extra +2. +5, -1 for the ridge, -1 for the rough terrain. So +3 to +2, see if I can get him to retreat. British roll. 1 + 3 is a 4. With a +2, the Germans can't be retreated. Even with a 3, they're just not retreated. So that assault doesn't work. Let's put the tanks on this. Oh, tanks. Well, what the heck? The Americans will attack mobily against the 17th. They are at a +1. Because they're +1 for American, +2 for armor, -1 for the ridge, -1 for the rough terrain. Germans are at +2. It costs me 1, 2, 3, 4 movement points. So I technically have 6 movement points left. And roll the die. Americans roll 3 + 1 is a 4. Germans 5 + 2 is a 7, which I believe is an AS. So not that nonsense. And then the last thing is the 9th will activate to use its last tanks marker, and it will mobile attack this guy. Basically, they are a 0 to a 0. Germans are +2 for German, -2 for being a garrison. British are +1 for, or -2 for being a garrison, +1 for being British, so that makes them -1 to start with. And then they get +2 for the tanks, so that puts them at a +1, -1 for the rough terrain. So it's a 0 to a 0, and that costs me 1, 2, 3 movement points, so I have 5 left. And a roll. 2, just not going to do it. So that was just It was a pot shot in the dark to see if I could, get a lucky die roll, push him out of the hex, and being mobile attack, maybe be able to, do something else like move to here and attack at only -1 or something. I don't know. I was just looking for stuff to do. And that's that. Okay, now we have to go to supply. I'm going to zoom out because it's easier to do supply at this level. And I am running over, so I'm going to be doing this relatively quickly. Boom, boom. This guy goes there. That takes care of Italy. If I counted right, I think I have 12 units in Europe, in France here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'm going to go ahead and supply this guy too. That's 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 12. So that supplies everybody in the continent. And of course, we don't have to worry about the guys that are in Great Britain and sitting on Malta. They don't count anymore. Okay. That then is the Western operations phase. Sorry, I ran over a little bit. Quite a lot to do there. I didn't expect that kind of success. Otherwise, this would have been done in 20 minutes. So that's the Western operations phase of July 1944. Major breakthrough in central France. The Germans are going to have to figure out a way to recover from it. And we will be back with the Soviet operations of July 1944 in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.